Hi, I'm Bob Rubart with the Oracle Technology Network, and my guests are Oracle ACE Director Chet Justice, also known as ORACLENERD, and Oracle ACE Mike Riley, also known as Mike Riley. These gentlemen are two of the people behind the Oracle Development Tools User Group Kscope event coming up on June 22nd through the 26th in Seattle. Gentlemen, how are you today?
Very well, Bob.
Doing good, thanks.
So tell me about your involvement in Kscope.
I should let Mike do that. Mike dragged me into this thing a couple years ago. Last second, hey, will you do this? Yes, Mike. He knows I can't say no. I'll give you. I sort of know Mike's history now. Mike is the past president of ODTUG. He got involved in late '90s, early 2000s. Became president of ODTUG, and then stepped down to become conference chair 3 years ago, Mike?
2 years ago. You're doing well. Keep going, Chet. Hello?
Mike's the driving force behind all this. Mike's done a lot of great stuff for ODTUG and for the Kscope conference in particular. So, I consider myself fortunate to be working with him.
Looks like the ball's in your court now, Mike.
Okay, so yeah, my involvement with ODTUG has started way back in '99, 2000. I had the president of ODTUG at that point in time, Kent Graziano, introduced me to ODTUG, and I've been a loyal ODTUGger since that point in time. Got involved, got onto the board of directors in 2007. Was conference chair in 2008 and vice president at the same time. Became president in 2009 and stepped down in 2012, as Chet said, to become conference chair again for last year's Kscope event in New Orleans. And then the conference committee consists of myself and Natalie Delamar as the conference co-chairs this year. Chet and Opal Alapat are the content chairs for the conference this year. John King is the ADF content chair or team lead, and Debbie Galnick is the Seattle Street team lead this year, which is a new concept for ODTUG. We were trying to get the Seattle community more involved, and Debbie's done a fantastic job leading a group of volunteers that are local to the Seattle area. They've hosted some Road to Kscope events to get networking going and get companies more involved and individuals more involved in the local community, and to get them more in tune with Kscope. So it's a long process. Chet's been a key component of the conference for the past couple of years, certainly, and the conference process really starts basically the moment the old conference ends or the current conference ends. We end up usually having a wrap-up meeting and start figuring out what we need to do right for the next year.
So this is a perpetual process for you guys.
Yes, it is. They're killing me too, Bob.
Yeah.
I mean, we meet that Thursday after the conference, and we have a nice meeting and discuss some of our our issues, things we want to do differently or do better the following year. And then pretty much once a week for the next year, we meet over teleconference and, talk about various topics. Getting, the first 3 or 4 months is typically spent getting the content in order. We usually publish that, or we identify the content, and we publish that in mid-December so that we can start with our marketing side of things.
What's different about this year's event? What sets Kscope 2014 apart from previous events? Mike?
Well, one of the key things I think that we're doing this year, well, a couple of them actually, our Monday is themed a community day. And so what we're trying to do is keep the areas of interest together so that we're providing like a lunch tables where areas of interest can sit and talk with the Oracle ACE and ACE directors to expand that community and enhance the community. Then in the evening, on Monday evening, we have a community events for the various communities. VI, Apex, and Database and Developers Toolkit rooms, where they have various events, whether they be open mic nights or fun events where they can just network with folks, and we provide food and drinks. They're sponsored by the various vendors, and it's a tremendous thing that we're trying to do this year with the Monday events. The other significant difference this year is that we have our Thursday deep dives, where we have 2-hour sessions to wrap up the conference, where you can learn from the stars in the Oracle world, and get some in-depth and in-detail information from those folks. So we really have tried to change things up. We try to listen to folks and see if we can improve on the conference each and every year.
So what goes on at an open mic night? Do people show up with guitars and do folk songs about Oracle technologies? Chet?
Well, the Apex group, and Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, the Apex community has been the biggest one that does that particular event. I think they started it. I'm not 100% sure on that. I have not been to an Apex open mic night. I'm sad to say.
I haven't seen guitars at any of the events up to this point, but it wouldn't be surprising to see something.
So what do people do when they're on the mic? What happens?
So the concept is that you have a short period of time, 5 to 10 minutes. No slides are allowed. You're supposed to come up and present a solution that you have, and it's your chance to kind of have a speaking slot without really having a speaking slot, and have the community provide you input to it and let you see how your solution really translates to the greater population. So it's a really nice concept. It's really fast-paced, and you don't get bored in it. It's very quick hits, and I think that the community really likes it, and that's it's been carried over to a couple of other different communities as well.
Is there a time limit when you're on the mic?
Generally, yeah, they have a moderator usually in every session, and if you start dragging on a little too long, they'll come out with the shepherd's hook and drag you off the stage.
I was hoping you were going to say gong show.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. It reminds me of the old Gong Show. The event officially kicks off on Sunday the 22nd, but on the 21st you've got something special going on. Tell me about that.
This is our 7th annual Community Service Day, and it started way back in New Orleans in 2008. We've worked with schools, we've worked with boys and girls clubs. This year we're working with the Nature Consortium up in Seattle, and we're going to be going out and eradicating invasive species from the West Duwamish Greenbelt area, which is one of the crucial wild spaces in the Seattle area itself. We did something similar back in Monterey in 2009. We went out on the dunes and tried to eradicate an invasive plant species that came over on a boat. It was a great time. It's a cool concept. Community service is really what it is. We try to give back to the communities that we come from, or that we visit.
Isn't eradicating an invasive species the basic plot behind the Terminator series?
Yeah, yes, it is.
I did enjoy Mike's verbiage there. I like eradicating things. It's fun.
Do you have a sense at this point about how many people are actually going to be at Kscope 2014?
We're expecting a record crowd again this year. We started in 2008. It's continued each and every year. I'm confident in saying that we're going to break the record again this year. My guess is that we will have about 1,500 or so folks in Seattle experiencing Kscope.
Wow, so that's a significant scope to this event, because I know you've got something in excess of 200 presenters and something in excess of 300 different presentations involved in this. Can you give me kind of a brief overview of the like session tracks or topics that will be covered in the event?
So Kscope is essentially it's two separate. I don't even know how to describe it. I want to say tracks, but we call everything else below that a track as well. So we have the EPM BI side, and we have the traditional side. The traditional side was what technologies that were originally part of ODTUG, database development, PL SQL, the database. Basically, anybody who develops within or around an Oracle database. 2008, Mike?
Yes.
2008, the Mike had an instrumental role in bringing in many folks on the EPM side. I believe it was part of the Oracle Hyperion, I don't want to say merger, acquisition. Mm-hmm. And that user group kind of, they chose to come to Kscope. Mike invited them, say, hey, we've got some space, why don't you come on in? And they did, and they have grown ridiculously. I have to beat up my partner, Opal, quite a lot. Or it's really the other way around. She's like, I've got more sessions than you. So, she kind of, she lays the law down with me at times. But no, the EPM BI side has grown tremendously. It's about 65% of the conference now. The overall attendees, sessions, and everything else, it's a vibrant community. I don't know it well enough, unfortunately. But with Opal and with Natalie, they've been very helpful in introducing me to people on that side. There's, it's this sometimes this, it's just seen sometimes very differently. They're two different. I don't even know how to describe it. So I'm not going to. If Mike, you better stop me before I keep going here.
Yeah, well, Chet, you did a pretty good job. The only thing that I would say is it really was, it felt like two different camps at the first Kscope. The EPM community had one single room that they packed for the entire length of the conference, and it was a tremendous thing, but it felt like they were separate, not really a part of ODTUG. And I think through the years we've really grown to the point where it feels like everybody's on the same page. Everybody is a part of Kscope and a part of ODTUG, and it's a tremendous feeling that this group has gotten, and the energy infusion from the EPM community. So I'm tremendously happy with the growth and the synergy between the two camps, really.
Yeah, so Bob, let me expand a little bit. As far as the content goes, for the EPM BI side, they're dealing with technologies such as OBIEE, ODI, Essbase, Hyperion, which is Hyperion Financial Management, HFM, business content. There's a ton of stuff that, acronyms that I don't know or understand. But they've got some, according to everybody that I talk to, they have some incredible speakers and some incredible content on their side. The traditional side, which is the side that I oversaw, is made up of 4 tracks. It's ADF, Apex, database development, the database, and that's a capital T for the database. Oh, and then building better software, which is a kind of a small hobby track for me. There's about 4 sessions within that, and that deals with things like how to write better code and do things better. I typically lean on somebody like Kerry Millsap or Dominic Del Molino to help me fill some of those spots. They're kind of the thinkers in the space. And let's see, who else? Kellen Potvin, now an Oracle employee, ran the database track for us. John King ran the ADF track. Roel Hartman of Apex fame ran that track. And Patrick Barrell of Monkeys ran the database developers track for our side.
Wow.
And if Opal was here, she'd give you all the names of her people, but she's not.
Right. And to expand on what Chet's saying, those are just the content leads. They have teams underneath them of Many of the Oracle ACE and ACE directors participate in our content selection. So there is literally hundreds of folks that are reviewing the content that we end up selecting for the conference.
Clearly there's a lot to choose from, but what sessions are at the top of your list this year? What sessions are you going to make every effort to see at this year's event? Mike?
That's a great question, and generally my answer is I intend to go see a lot of sessions, but I end up going to see very few of them because I'm always behind the scenes trying to have meetings and stuff like that. This year, I want to go see Carrie Millsap's deep dive and listen to that again. I've heard Carrie speak many, many times, and it's always the highlight of the conference as far as I'm concerned.
Chet, what about you? What session are you not going to miss this year?
Not going to miss. I'm not going to miss the one that I'm in. That's for sure. For me, the Sunday Symposium, and we haven't really discussed it, the Sunday Symposiums are probably my favorite day. This is a day where we kind of hand the reins over to Oracle, and they say, well, this is kind of our roadmap for the future. This is what we're going to do. They have 6 or 7 sessions during the day, and with various speakers this year for database development, it's going to be, Chris Rice, Jeff Smith, Ashley Chin. I think, no, Mike Hitch was not going to be doing it this year. Rick Greenwald. Apex has Joel, the entire Apex team, and one of my favorite communities out there, Joel Coleman, David Peak, and all those guys. And, ADF will be the same way. That's my favorite day is getting to see all the Oracle people talk about what they believe is going to be coming down the pipe in the next year or so.
Is registration still open for the event? Is it too late to sign up?
Yeah, registration's open, and we even take on-site registrations, but advanced registration right now is open until June 9th, I believe. And that will save you $300 off of the final price of admission if you were to register on site or after June 9th. So we have a lot of folks coming in. We certainly have room for everyone that wants to come and join and be a part of this vibrant community. I think that we always look forward to seeing new people there. That's perhaps one of the bright spots of the conference for me, is getting to not only renew old acquaintances and old friendships, but to make new friendships and meet new people there. They end up becoming lifelong friends and relations that you can lean on in your private life and in your private work environment. We all do this as volunteers, so certainly this isn't the paid portion of our lives, but the relationships that you make at these events last a lifetime.
Well, gentlemen, thanks for taking time to talk to me this morning. I've been talking with Oracle ACE Director Chet Justice and Oracle ACE Mike Riley. They're two of the people behind the OD-TUG Kscope 2014 event that's happening in Seattle, June 22nd through the 26th. Guys, good luck. Hope it's a great show.
Thanks, Bob.